What do you think the solution would be? Because obviously you say there aren't as many people as before. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously there aren't as many people as before, but one thing I've noticed, and in fact I've just been looking on Facebook at some friends. There's a load of my friends out today back where I live with placards, etc. So there seems to be a lot more localised activities, shall we say, grassroots, if you like, rather than coming down to London. In terms of solutions, it's a difficult one. Obviously, this whole has been orchestrated over a very long time. The people that are orchestrating it are or have control of the media. The media, of course, as we know, is the virus, and as such, we're just saying that we have to really,
this is where we joined the race. Remember,
get hold of the media, or to try and change public. There's so many people wandering around who are just totally blind to what's going on. If it's not on the BBC or in the mainstream media, it doesn't exist, which is, to people like me and people here, it's gobsmacking. You can't get your breath.
In your estimation, what percentage of the public is still unaware, and what percentage just outright lazy to come out to these events?
That's a very good question. I think, in terms of percentages, I couldn't tell you, but I think there's a big chunk of the population who are too lazy or too acquiescent. They're just sitting back. They're too comfortable. But I think as we move forward with children, and we've already seen a significant rise in children's deaths, and I don't know anybody that's died of COVID, but every day I speak to people within this community, they're telling me about another story of my friend at work collapsed, or the guy had a heart attack, or he had a stroke, shortly after having the vaccine. And at some point, there's got to be an awakening of individuals and the general public that something's not right.
Do you talk to your colleagues at work about this, or you rather keep it quiet?
It's a difficult one. You have to be measured, because if people have got really strong feelings and are totally unaware, you have to tread lightly, because of course part of this whole has been a very carefully orchestrated sort of psychological play to set one person against another.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer all the way. It's no surprise that SAGE is made up of a very small amount of virologists and epidemiologists, but quite a significant number of psychologists, because at the end of the day, that's where it's won and lost. I can never remember the woman's name who's part of SAGE, but she was exposed by Richard Madeley. I don't watch TV, but she was exposed by Richard Madeley. She'd been a member of the British Communist Party for the last 40 years. This whole control thing is right up her street. She's got the perfect job, really.
Do you talk to your family about this, or are you divided as well?
I do, but again, I've been at loggerheads with members of my family over this. Fortunately, now we've agreed to disagree, but equally, because I've been saying so many things over the past 12 months, long before they actually came to fruition, and they've all come true. It's that old thing.
They're beginning to see that you were right.
Yeah, well, a family member had a conversation with somebody they know in a foreign country, who effectively said exactly what I said, and suddenly, when it wasn't her brother saying it and it was a trusted friend, then suddenly I could see that she rather than me being that conspiracy theorist and the tin hat wearer and a member of a cult, she suddenly had this thing where I could see there was a bit of a change in her attitude.
We've all been there. I know what you mean. Are you planning on keep coming to these events?
Yes, indeed. I think it's important to keep coming along. And although numbers are down, as I say, definitely there's more activity on the ground in a more localised area. I think as time goes by, we could see a resurgence if children start dying, which inevitably they will be, and more, more have already. But I think it's one thing your grandparents may be dying prematurely of having a vaccine, but when your children start dying, that's a whole new ball game. You know, perfectly healthy child one day, and boom.
Which is sad, but let's hope it does help. Oh, okay.
It's an unfortunate thing to happen, but if that's what it's going to take to stop it over the long term, then maybe that's.
You are hopeful.
I am 100% hopeful. I have to say, you know, we're up against it. This has been planned over a very long time. There's so much evidence, and people, including the people that are orchestrating it, they openly tell you. They openly tell you. But I tell you, I will, to my dying breath, I'll never stop. I'll never back down.
Do you see it going towards a more aggressive, standing up against the authorities?
Yeah, well, that's the thing that everybody's trying to avoid. I think that, you know, they want to win it in a peaceful way. I hope it doesn't come to that. But who knows what will happen down the line. We've all seen, well, we as in the people who know what's going on, have all seen the aggression against the people in Australia. Just outrageous. And inevitably, the model that's going on there is you know, is going to ripple across the world, which of course it already is. But good on the Italians, for example, they're standing up. The French are standing up, and across the Germans and across the world. Actually, it's just that if you watch mainstream media, you'd think there was nothing going on. And so, yeah, never back down and keep fighting. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
I've got very busy jamming fingers today. I think these marches do help because they show strength in numbers. So I think it's worth continuing to show that, you know, there's a groundswell of support.
Have you been here before? Have you
I've been to
New Zealand? And you must see that there aren't as many people today.
No, there aren't, which is disappointing. But you know, there's some, which is better than none. So.
Did you tell your family members, your colleagues, your friends that you'll be here today? What did they think? What would they think if you did?
Well, I posted it on Facebook that I'd be here, so for all my friends to see. So
it's no secret.
No, it's no. I don't make any secret of it. I've fallen out with a lot of old friends and unfriended them because I couldn't tolerate their view on basically what is becoming a medical tyranny. I can't agree to disagree over the imposition of a medical dystopia, which is what the whole saga has been, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like your costume, and this is the way to go. I think you do a great job with that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, keep it up. Thanks.
The question you're asking is, how do you bring about change? And you're only going to bring about change if there's enough people resisting what the government are doing to either overcome what the government's trying to do or persuade the government to change tack. That's the only way that it's going to come out. So however many people we are here, we know that there's probably between, say there's 30% of the population who are actually awake to what's going on and can see that it's a concerted campaign to take away our freedoms. It's not just about the vaccine. There are about 30% of the people who don't see that, trust the BBC, can't imagine a politician ever doing anything to damage them. And then there's a 40% in between. The figures are crude, but you can see where we're coming from. So you can get some of these 40% of people thinking, actually, is this really what's going on? Why are these people marching like this? Then you can build the momentum. So I think it's important. I think
it is important, but maybe there are other ways as well alongside with it.
I'd just like to add to what my husband said, is that I think the people are so fearful of this virus, but we can see that there's worse things around the corner than the virus with its 99% survival rate. And it's to persuade the people that what is coming is actually worse than the virus, because they can't see that. And then that might take their focus from the virus to actually the totalitarian government, the global control and everything else that seems to be just around the corner.
We got friends who, for the sake of friendship, we have to agree not to talk about it because they get very upset at the idea that there's something going on. They accuse us of being the ones who have our heads up our arse. So you have to tread a line. You don't want to lose friends that you've had for so long, because that's part of what happens. So you tread a line. You know that they're part of the 30%, say. Try and spend time elsewhere. We've got another member of our family who took the early on, and having had conversations with them about what we found out, is now very concerned about what they've done. So we don't talk to them anymore about it because we don't want to cause them any more pain. So we're out here trying to touch the people that we don't touch within our family. I can see, and yes, we are reaching out within the family, but we sort of know what we've done and what we can achieve without upsetting people. People know what we stand for, but you're just going to break the family up if you keep on bashing the same old thing. That's our view. Other people might come to a different conclusion.
I can't imagine the people being any more aggressive. I don't think it will do them any favours. We just have to keep, smiling at people and spreading love instead of fear. Not hate, no more fear. But I don't know. So no, that wouldn't be our way, no.